she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you lusting is the one you're loving?
I did see some clips from it and stuff. I'm a little surprised that the other stations didn't carry it, because Fox News is the N-word in my house. Like, so I won't watch that. But it's interesting that I wonder if they didn't carry it almost for the same reason they don't carry Trump live anymore on the other stations.
But CNN didn't have that whole sit down with him and his audience, and they had that poor child out there that was ill-equipped to even ask a question. Just, I don't even know. She now got a whole TV show. I was like, y'all just don't really give a damn about us people here at all. You just giving people TV shows. Like, it's ridiculous that can't even ask questions. But, I was watching, so I watched it.
Okay.
I will admit, though, I didn't stay to the end. I just, it was an insult to my intelligence, actually.
Right.
I read, so for a person who reads, I'm sitting there like, y'all gonna just say any old thing. But surprisingly, there were moments of lucidity, moments of veracity, just moments, just little bursts of truth, just like, and the moderators weren't too bad. Big head, Brett Baer, he probably got the biggest head in television. His head, he might be 4'11", but his head is like a whole like 3 feet high, which might bring him over. Like, he's got the giant, perfect TV head, Brett Baer. And then some woman named Martha McCallum, who I don't know. They did a pretty decent job, but you know how sometimes debates devolve into like wrangling cats? Mm-hmm. It seemed like they were wrangling cats the whole night. Just
how many participants were there?
Yeah, I don't know. Because there's only Smith said it was 8, but they really only talked to 4.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some highlights. So there was a guy named Doug Burnham. Who wasn't supposed to be there because he sprained his Achilles or something and couldn't walk playing basketball, which when I
got crossed over, you got his ankles broke.
When I saw the man, I said, you a lie. You a damn lie. You ain't hurt yourself playing basketball. That is a lie. That is a lie. Somebody was making comments about the lack of top lips last night. And then I was assessing that perhaps, the more you lie, maybe the lies chew your lips up from the inside.
Right.
So that's why your lips look like that. But he was one of those with reverse lips, don't know how he cools his soup. I don't know how he blows out a match. Not sure how any of that happens, but he was there lying about coming from a small town where there's no crime. He said, he claimed no one talks about crime in small towns. Well, actually, that's true. Because Anchorage, Alaska is one of the most dangerous places. So there, there's a lot of talk about crime, Chicago, Detroit, big cities. But the biggest crime, actually in the top 10, South Carolina, statewide. It's in the top 10 of the most crime. And I didn't hear Nikki Haley or Tim Scott own that. But yeah, this guy talking about small town America and where we look out for each other.
I think they're only counting crimes if they're done by Black people. And then white crimes are not crimes to them.
You know what? I had a friend that lived in Hoboken who said that they didn't report the crime there because they didn't want to bring down the property value. So you know what? But these are reported crimes though, Roderick.
Yeah, but I think
Anchorage is reported.
The ones that they count on the debate stage, they're like, oh no, them was white crimes. We don't have any problems with those. Like they don't even, think about it. They don't even count running up on the Capitol as a crime. Look at that crowd.
Okay. So I tweeted, I was live tweeting, which was a lot of insults because I've been reading this Saul Alinsky thing, and Saul Alinsky gave me permission to play the dozens. That's how I'm gonna say it. And so since your dad raised you on Richard Pryor, did you grow up in a household where the dozens were played?
All the time.
Okay, so yesterday I had a challenge, which I'm gonna get to with you today. But so I spent most of my night tweeting insults because I've been out of practice because on these airwaves I'm super mindful of I don't want to devolve this platform into something that's just name calling is beneath us.
Mm-hmm.
But
totally
it's so
reasonable.
It's so
totally
fun.
reasonable. I see. So it's so good though. But yeah, I totally get it.
Delicious. It is delicious. So I spent most of my time calling people goofy and stuff because they were. I don't feel like if it's true, it should be, if it's a true statement.
Right.
So I gave my little assessment. I feel like the winner of the night was Nikki Haley.
Wow.
Primarily
Okay.
because it was wild. She was telling the truth about abortion and stuff, except for the fact that her husband was adopted. I don't, and then she had a hard time having a baby. I don't know why that makes abortion something that we should,
Right.
outlaw. Yeah, that don't got nothing to do
It's
with nothing.
always
But
personal for them, right? It's always like, I got a story, man. I don't care about your story. We making laws for everybody.
Facts. But then she talked about, should we, punish a mother? Should we punish a woman? Like, she was making I was like sitting there like, okay, Nikki Haley is really running for president. That's what I walked away feeling like she trying to get votes from the 100 million that didn't show up last time. And she might have been effective last night. She might have been effective. She won. I feel like Tim Scott wasn't bad because his gums didn't show a whole lot. Okay. There was only like one moment where he was laughing hard that the gums peeked out. But for the most part, it was just teeth, spacey, and that was it. But he didn't sound.
How does Tim Scott
crazy.
laugh? Because the way he looks like he laughs like. But how does he laugh in real life?
Pretty that right there. Wow. Yep, that's pretty much how that went down. So yeah, yeah. So that was he was a close second. Chris Christie would have done better, but he was playing too much of the bully role. And like he was prepared for Donald Trump. It seemed like so he was just looking for somebody to beat up on, and he found him. He found him in Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh yeah, that dude's whack.
Oh my God. It was delicious. At the same time, I was like, you were doing a little too much. It's because there's a point where it's like it's just really not fair. Like yeah. But he had some good liners, and I don't think he helped himself because he kept getting booed. So, so Chris Christie was in third place to me. Smith thought that Pence did well, but Pence kept talking about his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I was trying to figure out who he was talking about because Jesus called me and said, who is he? Is he calling my name or is this somebody named Jesus that does his lawn? Because I don't know him.
Well, they mess with that other Jesus over there. So it's he's a little different. He like
so
guns.
It wasn't hair of wool, skin of bronze Jesus.
Not that one. No, that Jesus ain't coming nowhere near that church. They not letting him in there.
Me and Jesus was talking last, and Jesus was like, this dude, is he?
No,
is
they
this
talking skin of porcelain, hair of blonde over there.
Yeah.
With they Jesus.
And DeSantis was struggling to figure out how to make his teeth form a smile with his lips.
Oh,
but again, it was wild. It was weird. He was weird. Yeah. He's weird. He's very weird. I don't know how people who like DeSantis call me 866-801-8255. I need you to make it make sense. Yeah. How is he number 2 in the polls? Is it just because he's like an open racist? And as long as he's an open racist, you don't care that he might not be a human being? Like he might literally be something else inside of a human suit that doesn't quite fit very well. The clue for me was when he put on them white plastic boots during that thing. I was like,
calf house. Yeah.
What is happening? Like nobody your wife let you leave the house like that?
He looks like he's always posing for a still photo, but he doesn't know that the camera's on video. Like that's the vibe he always gives me when he tries to like make a face or a smile. It's always like, the camera is rolling. This we didn't just stop after the first smile. He looks so unconfident. It's like his suit's too big. There's so many things about him that are to be disliked. And I think he's trying to be this version of like Trump that is like, I'm here for all the social issues and xenophobia and racism, but I'm not gonna like be scandalous about it. And I don't think that that's what that party wants. I think they like Trump.
They want the scandal. They need the titties the titties touched and the coochies grabbed. They need all of that.
They want need to know a criminal.
Yes, they do. They want Gotti or Tony Soprano. They want some version of that. They don't mind Pedophile Island because maybe they have some. I don't know.
They want a dude that feels above all the rules and laws. And DeSantis feels like the guy who tries to pass rules and laws that'll help him, like, that'll be like, hey, I don't like these blacks either, but they don't necessarily care about governing.
That part. It was wild though. It was wild. It was as much as I could hang in there, and it was painful. I want to, and I'm not being hyperbolic either. Like it was, there was a point where I looked at myself because Jesus was sitting next to me, and then I looked at Jesus and I was like,
He was like,
And
"You gonna change it?"
Yeah, I was like, come on, miracle. I mean, water the wine. I mean, this is easy. Like, make something happen here.
Jesus was like, "We need to get on this what to watch list. Okay, this ain't gonna make the top 5.
It won't. Yeah, I don't recommend watching these debates. And if this is the way it's gonna go down, so I'm gonna play a couple of highlights from last night. We are restricted. I'm just gonna say we're restricted by how much we could play because Fox is like, y'all ain't playing our audio.
Yeah, maybe that's why CNN ain't show it.
Yeah, because they can get sued or whatever. We not getting sued by them because I ain't want to turn on your stinky channel anyways. Let me just tell you that. All right. That was under duress and because I made a dumb promise on these airwaves. But let's start with Vivek Ramaswamy because I thought that he actually had a chance and he was out there, doing Eminem lyrics and playing tennis with no shirt on. I was like, this guy could win. He could actually do something. And then he got on that stage, boy. I was like, whoa, you can't swim. You can't swim. You ain't like that boy in Alabama. You drowning. And ain't nobody sending you a life raft. It was terrible. Let's play this because this is who he is, right? Okay. This is his opening. Play it, Smiz.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage? I'll tell you, I'm not a politician.
A mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds.
Wait, pause.
Pause.
You gotta play this over. All right, what you just heard was how he described himself as a skinny guy with a funny name. And then what you hear after that is Barack Obama.
Thought I heard it before.
2004 or something, 2007. Play it again, Smith, so people can really.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage? I'll tell you, I'm not a politician.
A mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too.
Did he think we forgot or something? Like that was class. Did
like
he think nobody?
Just like when Melania Trump copied off of Michelle Obama's paper and thought we wasn't gonna realize when we heard them raps before.
Oh, by the way, Roderick has on a Michelle Obama shirt. I'm not sure why, but it's a Andy Warhol.
I'm a fan.
Okay, I love it. Shout out to Karen too. Shout out to Karen, who's also the co-host of the Black Guy Who Tips, the blackguywhotips.com. Yeah, like so what we're basically seeing are people with no original ideas, with blackened hearts and minds who care nothing about human beings. This dude had the nerve to say he's for nuclear. He went down plastic, coal burning. Like he's like, we're gonna put people back to work. I sat there, was like,
what?
Wait, what? Yes, I'm not gonna play the clip.
That sounds like
what
the
I'm talking
plan.
about.
That sounds like the plan of a villain from Captain Planet. I don't know if you ever saw that cartoon, but not. That's the thing. That's the thing, though. Like they can take the image, but they'll never have the soul. So like you can copy Barack Obama's speech all you want, but the second you start talking about policies, Barack Obama would never be on some like, I'm the hope of a kid. Anyway, we're gonna burn coal, we burn the plastic, we out here killing dolphins. It's like, what, man, I'm not stupid.
So what does that say about the people who are like, yay, coal and nuclear beats all of the plastics? Yes, pollution. Yes. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. But as I mentioned, Nikki Haley to me was the winner. I'll put it out to anyone else who suffered. First of all, thank you. 866-801-8255. Would love to hear if you agree or disagree. Again, maybe the last 30 minutes was fire. Maybe I missed something, but this was my assessment up until the last 30 minutes. Nikki Haley was the winner tonight.
Thank you for your service. Honestly.
I feel like I need something like a GoFundMe page for a vacation.
What Jay-Z said, Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. That's what you did last night. You watched it so we don't have to.
Yep, I'm always taking one for the team. At some point though, it was just too much.
How we overcome.
Nobody cares about my suffering. All right, so we're gonna play Nikki Haley. She had an interaction with her brother from another mother from the same part of the world. Both, he kept telling us his mother came, his father came here with no money, and the immigrant story. Both of them, I'm a woman. They were doing all of this stuff. I was waiting for the Sojourner Truth moment, because she was the only woman on the stage.
Right.
Snatch up a blouse. All right, let's go, Smiz. Number 2.
Once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin. When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a...
Wow.
First of all, Mr. Ramaswamy, you have 30 seconds. Mr. DeSantis.
Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon. But the fact of the matter, Boeing came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week, Nikki.
To go and defund Israel.
Okay, let me address that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it. So the reality is,
the less that you know policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what?
Whoop. He was getting mollywopped. I mean, when Nikki Haley mollywopped you gotta kind of like, I might not be cut out for this. It was bad. It was really
I'm
bad.
surprised. I'm a little surprised they cheered for her saying she was against Putin and Russia, because I understand that crowd's a little bit waving. They a little shaky on that one.
And this is what I was like, Christie found out last night, and so did Ramaswamy. He had all of his talking points lined up, but these folk ain't predictable. They may marry their cousin. They may vote, and then they may be in love with Rihanna. Like they're so confusing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you can craft, a campaign on these folk that follow Trump, because it doesn't make any sense, really.
Because that, like, the one thing they agree on is they support Trump, and then the thing with Trump is he support himself, and that's all he want to talk about anyway. So I've seen, he's the only one of them that I've seen where, if they start booing, he'll pivot, because he don't care. So he'll be like, I remember when he tried to tell people all the Republicans was dying, they wasn't taking the vaccines. And he was like, I'm hearing good things. Maybe the vaccine is good. And they was like, boo. He's like, maybe not. I don't care. Dot in. He don't care.
Yo, he doesn't. Oh, you're so right. And I feel like they go where his wind is going. So that was, but Nikki Haley was dropping some science last night, some truth. She dropped something, Smith. I know it's not on here, so I'm going to try to play less. Maybe we won't play it because I'm doing the calculation in my head. The other Nikki Haley clip, I think it's like 10 seconds because we got a time limit. She was on point so hard that Biden retweeted her and said, yo, this is all right, Smith,
which is probably like the death knell to her.
You have Ron DeSantis, you've got Tim Scott, you've got Mike Pence. They all voted to raise the debt, and Donald Trump added $8 trillion to our debt, and our kids are never going to forgive us for this.
Yo,
wow.
I was like, what?
Did she show up to the wrong debate? Does she know what she's at?
This was my assessment. This woman actually wants to win. She wants to be president of the entire United States, and she recognizes that you can't do these little fringe ticky-tack bullcrap stuff. You're going to have to throw some truth and some meat out there, and this is something that she can push out, which everyone can agree to. We can all agree that that is bad.
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you're lusting is the one